Hey everyone, welcome to Canadian Alphard. This is the channel I'm using to document the search and ultimate purchase imports of 2009 Toyota Alphard from Japan on the JDM, Japan domestic market. And I'm going to go through kind of the process I went through to find a vehicle and import it. Ultimately, I choose a broker to import it for me. It's just easier, but we'll talk about that. And then the inspection process to get it registered here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and into Canada to get it on the streets. And after that, I'm going to modify it and I'm going to use it for my own pleasure. I'm going to use it to haul mountain bikes around and take my son and dog out to the mountain, do some biking and a lot of adventures by myself. So I'll probably get into those too in later videos. The reason I chose this minivan is I already have a camper. I've got a Northern Light box camper, beautiful camper on my truck. Quite often I just find it's me going out on these little adventures and I don't need anything so big. So I decided, well, for fun, what can I do? Like, my wife really didn't want me to get another vehicle, but I decided to put one in the driveway anyway. It's just more of a kind of adventure, just getting the vehicle from Japan and kind of modifying, getting it to work. Then anyway, the camper's big. It's too big for just one person or two if we're just going to rip out to the mountains and go for a ride. I looked at Sprinter vans, too much money. I look at full-size minivans here in Canada to get one a little mileage. It's a little bigger than I need, and yeah, they're pretty expensive still, especially if you go Toyota or Honda Odyssey. It's quite a bit of money. So I started researching K-trucks out of Japan. I heard they were really cheap and they look kind of cool and kind of fun. I'd never seen one in person. And I thought, well, four-wheel drive, they're kind of gutless with the 3 cylinders. But you know what? They got a little box on it. It might be kind of interesting. So I started looking at them and actually saw one in person. It was in a parking lot somewhere, and I realized they are golf carts. They are too small, too noisy. There's no firewall. Like, you're right up against the front of the vehicle. If you were to get into any kind of situation with this thing, you're toast. So I decided it's just too small for me. Even though they're super cheap, you can do lots of fun things with those little trucks. 4x4, they're pretty capable for really what they are. And so anyway, I just decided that wasn't for me. So then I started looking around, and I remember seeing these Delicas everywhere, the Mitsubishi Delica, and started looking at those initially, and I was really kind of unfamiliar with them. But what I liked was I started looking at Toyota, because I know Toyota's got a good reputation. And I started looking at all the van options on auction websites in Toyota, and I ended up finding this one, the Toyota Alphard. There was another one, the Hiace. It was just too big. It was a full-size van. It's gigantic. It was just too big, and I kind of started digging into the Toyota Alphard. It was the right size for what I wanted. If I go with the second gen, it had 3.5 liter engine in it. It's the exact same engine and drivetrain as the North American Toyota Sienna. And I know on the 2009 year, they were rated quite highly, and it's a good engine. And the Gen 1 I liked. You could get hybrids in them. You could get a 2.4 liter and a 3 liter engine, but they just weren't rated quite as high for me as the 3.5 liter Sienna. And if it's using the same engine as the North American Sienna, I know I can just get parts for it quite easily, because I'm not having to order from Japan for the engine and the drivetrain, maybe just some of the other miscellaneous stuff. But for the main components, I know I can just get that locally here in North America. So that's kind of how I ended up on the Alphard. I also looked at the Honda Acti, and it was just a little bit too small, because I want to throw up 2 mountain bikes into this vehicle and gear. So say I want to camp overnight, or just get my son and the dog in there, and then we just go out for an afternoon, go mountain biking. So this is how I ultimately landed on the Alphard, and I'm going to just talk about how I found it, how I decided what I wanted, and then ultimately how I decided to import it. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just jump into that, and we'll start looking at the process of how I imported it into Canada. Okay, here we are. Japanese cars for sale, I think was my first search. And Japanese car trade, Japanese used cars for sale. I really didn't know what I was looking for. I clicked on car from Japan because that sounds real reputable. And I just started looking around. And I did look at the Mitsubishi, but I wanted to see what Toyota Honda had. So way in I went, and I can't remember how I found the Alphard, but I found out it was a van, and I liked the size, and it interested me. And I know I needed to go 15 years or older. So I guess at the time, the max was 2009 I could get. And I didn't know the difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2. So I just threw that up in the old search. And here we go. And here you go. Just an endless list. A sea of Toyota Alphards. Endless. So many. I didn't know about the engine sizes yet. Or two-wheel drive. They have all-wheel drive configuration. The 2.4 liter, the 3, and the 3.5. It really took me a while to kind of settle down into that. I was looking at the prices, and to Vancouver for $7,000, 151,000 K. I soon realized I could start getting lower mileage vehicles. That became an interest. And I just decided in the end I wanted something under 60,000 kilometers. So this would here be fine. And then I was going to be 08 or 09, so second generation. So the lower kilometers go, the more you're going to pay. So getting it to port here, you're looking at about 13,000 Canadian. And I like what I saw. I'm like, oh, these are nice looking vans. This one's the hybrid version, which is really nice. No leather. It's got the bench seats. These seats fold flat, by the way, in the first gen. So this is 2007. That's first gen. If you lay out the mid row and the third row seats flat, it creates a bed. It's an amazing thing. But I like that idea. But again, I wanted to just empty the seats out and go for the second generation. So after that Alphard search, I did contact somebody from Japan, Cars from Japan, or Car from Japan, and they responded fairly quickly. It was a guy sitting in Japan, and it basically, I just didn't get the right feeling from it. It was a dealer I was dealing with. Like he was from the website, but a lot of these are dealer cars versus auctions, and I wanted to get into the auction. So I kind of had to figure that out. So then I'm like, well, import JDM to Canada. That was my next search. And I got BPro, JDM Connection. I looked at all these websites. They're really good. You know, if I want to get a car into Vancouver. And a lot of these sites, they have vehicles right on their current inventory. They have them on site. Again, you can search whatever you want. Let's do a Honda Acti. Well, they don't even have any Actis currently. See if they got any Alphards. Yep. There you go. Just do a quick search for Alphards. They have one. So that's on site. That is your $15,000. It's inspected, ready to go. 2.4 liter, 2005, 68,000 kilometers. What a deal. Just a great shape. See, it's already got the reflective reflectors on the side. That's a requirement for Canada that they have to have. You know, and I debated that. So that's a reflector. The lights would have been upgraded. Battery, a few other things. Obviously, the glass. I don't think they would have replaced all the glass, so I think that meets standards. Tires. Yeah, lots of options around. If you just go through these websites, you can buy them right straight. But I decided for fun, I wanted to go straight to the auction. So here I'm at BPro, and on the auction site, it landed here. So this gets you right to all the auctions. So you can. That's where the excitement is. So go Toyota, Alphard. I'll just make it a broader search than I really want. See what's out there. So I'm going to look at 2006 to 2010. I still want maximum, we'll say 90,000 kilometer. I'll leave the engine open, just see what everything is. I recommend 4 and 4.5 grade. So this is the auction grades each car. And I think for import 4 to 4.5, you're going to be pretty trouble free from everything I've read. We'll throw 3.5 on there as well, and 5 and 6, see what anything amazing comes up. But you're going to pay a premium for these ones, and 3.5 might be getting a little too low for surprises when you receive the vehicle. And here are all the auctions happening for the next week. So the next auction's on Monday. There's one Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Nothing on Friday, Saturday. But in this one price, I don't even bother with that because there's no auction on that. That's just what you pay. So let's do a search. All right, what do we got? An Alphard 2.4 liter Prime Selection 2010, only 54,000 K. It's that Pearl. Grade 4. Here's the 3.5. I'm going to leave this one out. Well, let's take a look at this one. Here's an all-wheel drive. This one's pretty interesting. It's only the 2.4 liter. But I guess it's a matter of opinion. The 2.4 liter would be really good on gas. It's how much power you want to throw out for your driving. So if you're towing, and that might be an issue for you. But if you're not towing, first thing you see is the auction sheet. All in Japanese, very confusing. I have a friend who speaks and can read Japanese. He was able to translate all this for me. The big things I could see, it's all-wheel drive. It is a grade 4. Here, this is important. So this is where it marks the damage on the body. And you can find websites that describe what these numbers mean. And it's easy if you just go Japanese data sheet, auction, translate, and search that. You'll find what everything here means. Outside of that, you're kind of on your own and you're guessing, unless you can find somebody who can tell you what all this means. Sometimes they have it all in English down here. So starting bid on this one is 7,900 Japanese yen. Mileage 76,000. Great color, pearl. Appraisal point is a 4. So that's a good starting point. 2.4 liter. Air conditioning. Automatic transmissions. No manual transitions in the Alphard. And it gives you the month. It was a 2007, third month. 4-wheel drive. Platinum Selection 2. And auction comments. Find outright sales corner approximately. So this is object car. Preliminary inspection, truck, vehicle, cabin. So this is kind of meaningless. Not sure what any of that means. But it gives you the serial number here of the vehicle. Let's see what else it looks. Doesn't look bad in the pictures. So I found if you got a good broker, they can get into the auction and take better pictures for you of the van. And you can actually pay about $40 Canadian, and somebody will actually go look at the van. So you're getting actual eyes on it without seeing just pictures. Because here you notice there's no interior pictures, just exterior. So you're really kind of blind what you're getting in for there. Back. We also got limited. Here's an 06. And this is 2010. 2010 could be nice. We could import that now that we're into 2015. A few more pictures. Again, got to kind of figure out this inspection sheet. Doesn't tell you a whole lot unless you can speak Japanese. Other than, it's a grade 4. Interior and exterior are Bs. Rate it, and that's a B, A, B, C, D kind of rating. And you just go through the pictures, find what you like. This one looks like it's in really good shape. So what you need now is to get eyes on it through a broker, or you can they can also get you more pictures of it. This one's in really nice shape. It just blows me away how incredibly good shape these interiors are. Hardly driven. Clean undercarriage, just very clean, rust-free. Cleanest undercarriages you'll find. So in the end, I just chose to go with a broker. I just thought it would be too complicated to try to navigate it myself, get the import done, go through customs, try to get it from Vancouver, or me fly out to Vancouver and pull it out of the yard and through customs myself. With the broker, it was so simple. I sent them an email. They responded. They told me, give us a great deal, exactly what you're looking for, and we'll start going through the auctions, and we'll find out. We'll search the auctions for you and send you possible hits. You could also go through the auctions yourself and search for what you want. And if you see something, we can let you know if we think it's a good deal or not, and we'll bid on it for you. The process was very simple. I found one I really liked. I told them what the max bid I want on it. They went ahead and put that max bid in. The auction came up on a specific date. It was over in about 30 seconds to a minute because it's all electronic bidding. And I got an email back saying, you won. So I got the vehicle. And the next step was I received a series of emails from the broker saying, okay, you've won the vehicle. You should see it in about 6 months. And pay us. It was just that simple. And they were going to get it right through customs from the port in Japan into Vancouver. And then I could choose to fly out there and pick it up or have it shipped right to Calgary. And I chose to have it shipped because it was just easy. And they had it just a few blocks from my house. So that's what I wanted. So after I won, and they said, well, now you just wait. And so I waited. And hopefully in a few months, I get a nice vehicle. And that's about 6 months. And so it was kind of the excitement was over. And now you just sit around and wait. We'll see what happens. And I'll show you what happened next.